Welcome back to another episode of Living in Denver. My name is Adam, and today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 reasons why a lot of people choose not to relocate or to move to the Mile High City, Denver, Colorado. We're going to jump right into it this week. Number 1, we're going to talk about altitude. Number 2, we're going to talk about weather. And number 3, we're going to talk about the high cost of living and the very expensive real estate that we're seeing here in Denver at the end of 2023, going into 2024 in just a couple months. So let's go ahead and get started right now. Let's go. All right. So number 1, altitude. If you're moving here from a coastal city or just somewhere in the United States that's closer to sea level, you might notice that as you live in Denver, Colorado at a mile high, thus the Mile High City, 5,280 feet, there are some significant noticeable effects on your body. That comes down to just breathing, just your energy level, even just getting a good restful night's sleep. You know, it's one of those things that I always tell friends and just family and clients that are considering moving to Denver to make sure you always obviously come out here first and just test the waters a little bit. See how you acclimate to the altitude, and hopefully, like most people, you're going to be fine. What I want to talk about specifically on this video when I speak about altitude isn't just Denver. Most people, they move to Denver, not necessarily to only just be in Denver. You move here to enjoy all the great stuff we have right on our back door. The Mile High City offers, tons of great hiking and just stuff very close to Denver, which is only getting you up to maybe, 6,000 feet altitude, fairly similar to where we're at Denver. However, you're without a doubt, you're going to want to explore the mountains. You're going to get up to the ski areas. You're going to get up into the higher altitude mountain towns. And some of those can be, significantly higher. Leadville is the highest city actually in North America. And it's definitely noticeable if you have any sort of issues with altitude. But even just going to, Winter Park, Grand Lake, Vail, Aspen, Steamboat, all of the main mountain ski towns, you're all going to be at a higher elevation than you are in Denver. It could be anywhere from, about 7,900 feet all the way up to 8,500 feet, maybe even a little bit higher if we're talking about Leadville. Leadville's significantly higher than that. So anyways, just wanted to make sure that you also just take that into consideration, that if you come out to Denver and you're considering moving here, put a little extra time in your schedule when you come out here, both to enjoy yourself and get out up to the mountains, just to kind of see how you do when it comes to those higher elevations than just the Mile High City. So, I bring this up as my number 1 reason why some people, though, decide not to move here. It does affect everybody differently. I even have some friends that I've known over the years that have come out here that are very healthy, active, younger individuals, in their 20s and 30s, that even despite being in good shape and going to the gym regularly and just being a healthy person, they still get affected by this. So, there's always the ability to acclimate over time and still be able to enjoy, being here in Denver despite maybe having a little bit of these issues. But just wanted to make sure that was the first thing I mentioned with altitude, is just to come out and see it for yourself and see if it's an issue. Most likely it's not. Hoping for the best. So again, number 1, altitude. All right, so jumping right into number 2, we're going to talk about weather. One of the best things about Colorado, in my opinion, is the diverse weather that we have. Every season is different. You've got warm, sunny days. You've got cold, extreme days with hail and blizzards and just all kinds of crazy weather phenomenon when it comes to living in Denver. I think for a lot of people, that sometimes is a pretty big negative. However, you got to embrace it. You got to really just enjoy those days and make sure that you're hopefully not having to get out of the house and travel and go anywhere, and just kind of appreciate just how unique of a place it is in Denver and just Colorado in general when it comes to just all kinds of weather. You really do have 4 completely unique seasons, and within all 4 seasons, some pretty big highs and some pretty big lows when it comes to just types of weather. So Colorado's always had this reputation, this kind of tagline of having 300 days of sunshine a year. Now, realistically, it's really probably more in that 270 range. That's what I've read in some articles over the last few years. But regardless, 300 days of sunshine a year is awesome. That's something that's very, very special and definitely appreciated by everybody, including myself, that lives here in Denver. However, weather is still a big talking point when it comes to people especially coming from places that aren't as used to these seasons and these just very significant changes in weather from one day to the next. And right now, this is actually the fall, middle of October, as I film this video today for you. And this is the time of year where it is so challenging for people to dress appropriately. I get up pretty early in the morning, about 5 5 to go to the gym. I'm wearing a long sleeve hoodie, pants, get to the gym. Sun comes up about 7, take one layer off, go back home, shower. You're getting ready maybe for your day, going out somewhere for lunch or just, have some meetings. By that time, you're probably in a short sleeve, shirt, maybe even shorts. And then, by the afternoon and the evening, you're ready to have another different type of a layer on. So literally in one day, you could have, 2 or 3 different wardrobe changes just to be comfortable while living in Denver in different times of year, especially here right now in the fall. I do also want to say that when it comes to weather, another reason why a lot of people, especially looking into purchasing real estate, are always taking weather into consideration is, we do have some pretty significant challenges with home ownership when it comes to just being very prepared with your insurance policies and just being very intentional about what you have to protect yourself. So we have very violent hailstorms occasionally. We had one back about 15 years ago in the Golden Wheat Ridge area that did significant damage. It actually closed down an enormous mall, a shopping mall, for over a year just because of the damage that it did all on the roof. It broke all these glass windows and just different kind of decorative kind of skylights that they had throughout the entire mall. Took all these businesses completely out. It was major. And not only just the mall, but all the homes around there, all the car dealerships, all kinds of stuff. So that's just one example of, weather in Colorado can be pretty extreme. So, one of the things that's very important just to realize if you're considering moving here to Colorado and especially into Denver is just, again, like I said earlier, just being willing to embrace that. You are going to have days where it's a beautiful sunny day, but just be aware that the next day could be completely different. And that's something that really keeps you on your toes. From one day to the next, it literally could be a 30 or even a 40-degree temperature change just in a 24-hour span of time. So again, I said I love that. I think that's such a fun part of living in a city like Denver because it always keeps things interesting and just different, and it's just not this Groundhog Day repetitive 70 degrees and sunny every single day. You really get to enjoy just having a little bit of character when it comes to the weather here in Denver. So again, guys, number 2, weather. All right. And then the third thing I want to share with you is just going to be the high rent and just the high cost of living. And then also, for real estate purposes, the high cost of real estate here in Denver. So, it's no surprise. There's a lot of people that have found out about how great living in Colorado is. And with that, obviously more and more people keep moving here. And that additional just volume of people looking both to rent and to buy is very taxing when it comes to just the occupancy and just the availability of places for people to live. So I just bring that up because if you're moving here, you might at first just want to be renting for a year. We have in Denver, significant amount of Class A, Class B, and Class C apartments, just using this as an example. Class A would be your brand new, very high-end, a lot of times luxury living type apartments, Cherry Creek, downtown Denver, just the highest quality of apartments. And then you have Class B, which is built in 1990 to 2000s, still very well upkept, newer apartment communities. A lot of times these will even be like townhomes, or they'll have a attached one-car garage for each unit, that kind of scenario. And then a Class C would be basically a 1960s or a 1970s vintage. Usually these types don't have a garage. They usually don't have even an in-unit washer dryer. So what happened in Denver over the last 10 to, actually I'd really say probably 15 to 20 years is a lot of growth has happened when it comes to construction and development. However, there's this gap. There's a lot of Class C and there's a lot of Class A. However, this Class B, which has always been kind of the smallest of the 3 segments, is really where the majority of people right now are looking to pay and afford, because that's just kind of that price point where with the high cost of living here in Denver, people are, wanting to kind of target and focus on their rents. So the challenge right now in Denver is finding that affordable but quality housing when it comes to renting. I will also say that, there's always going to be a house out there for you if you are capable and in a position to afford to buy a home. So, don't feel that's just because there is so much interest in Denver at the moment, so many people are moving here. Don't just count yourself out and think that, it's not going to happen. There's always going to be that special place that's meant for you. And all it really takes is just patience and just being consistent about it. It might not happen today, it might not happen next week or even next month. Stay at it long enough and you find a good, experienced real estate agent like myself, we're going to find something for you. So with that shameless plug, my phone number, my email, all that info is down below. Reach out. I would love to connect with you. We can hop on a quick 15-minute call on Zoom, which is what I prefer the most, and just be able to connect and just learn a little bit more about you, what you're looking for. Even if you're not in that position at the moment to buy, at least just connect with me. That way I can help, just provide any sort of value I can in the immediate future, as well as whenever that day maybe comes that you're considering buying a home here in Denver, Colorado. One last thing about just rents and just the high cost of living. When you have somebody that knows Denver, like I do, as a 40-year native, you really have to just just understand where the current high demand places are for people to be buying homes, but also having that forecast, being able to look into the future and see what are the next popular places. What areas are really seeing a lot of growth both now, but also in the next 5 years? Those are the places you want to find. Those are the places you want to invest in because you're getting in early before that high demand has found out about that spot and again, increased the property values and just made it more difficult to buy later on. So there's some great spots that I know currently that are like that. So if you have interest in those, feel free to shoot me a message. I'd love to share those with you. Again, guys, top 3 reasons why some people choose not to live in Denver. I know this is a negative tone to it, but just because I'm bringing these up doesn't mean that's necessarily the case for everybody. So once again, though, we're going to review again. It's altitude, weather, and just the high cost of living. In my opinion, those are 3 of the biggest reasons. And if you guys have any questions about any of those 3, feel free to reach out. Look forward to talking to you guys more next week. I release videos every single week. Looking forward to sharing with you them then. Bye.